did you hear? Yeah, girl, what?
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on Girl, Did You Hear? I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jessica.
Today we're going to talk about the Olympics. I know that they just wrapped up with the opening ceremony or the closing ceremony, but there's some crazy stuff that's been going on throughout the Olympics that I want to talk about. And then who knows where we will go from there. As you know, if you've seen some of our episodes before, we kind of go all over the place. So thanks for tuning in. Please make sure you do like and subscribe and tell all your friends.
Thank you.
Yes. So, did you see the opening ceremony at all for the Olympics?
I've only seen bits and pieces of it from social media, so
Same.
not the whole thing. I did
Same.
not watch a lot of the Olympics this year, to be honest.
I didn't really either. I only saw the highlights as well. I did search and watch like the gymnastics, of course, because I've always loved gymnastics.
Right.
Those girls are badass.
That's crazy.
Their talent is just insane to me. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, I could do that. And I'm like, no, I can't.
No, I can't.
I cannot. Although, you know what's really funny? Have you seen like the people on TikTok and stuff doing like their home Olympics?
Yes.
That's really entertaining.
Where they're like trying to spin on like this tiny flat
Yes.
surface. And I'm like, good luck, guys. She's been practicing that move for years.
So funny.
So, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch the opening ceremony either.
Mhm.
I didn't even know that it was on. I knew the Olympics were coming.
Right.
I just didn't know when it was happening. Anyways, the next morning, my socials were just going crazy about the ceremony. And I was like, what is going on? And everyone was complaining that there was a Christian mockery of the Last Supper because of the drag queen performance that they had.
Right.
A lot of people, I guess, felt that it was, trying to be like a parody of that, and Christians took offense to it.
I mean,
I didn't understand why they were getting so upset.
that blows my mind because, like you said, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and you said that every year the Olympics has something that sparks somebody's attention,
Yes.
either like a controversy, whether it be religious or cheating or anything along that nature. So it's one of those deals where you start to wonder, what is it going to be this year?
Right. So I kept seeing everyone just being so negative about it. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to break this down and I'm going to do my own research.
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious, like, what is the purpose of the actual opening ceremony was a question that I had. Like, what is the purpose of that for the country? Like, there's got to be some sort of meaning behind it, right?
Right.
And so the purpose essentially is for the host country, for them to showcase their country, what they stand for, who they are as a country, how they want the world to see them, different culture things that they share and they put into their performances and stuff like that. So I was like, all right. And then I was like, well, I don't really know a lot about France or Paris, like what their culture is. I know they're very artsy and like fashion and stuff like that.
Right.
But looking into it more, they're very eclectic people over there. It's a very free country, very open, very loving. They are very inclusive to everybody, trans, everyone. Like there's no discrimination on that aspect. So to me, I felt like they did a really good job in kind of showcasing what they stood for. And I think that people got pissed off about it because of the times that we're in right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, being trans or being accepted or whatever you identify as is such a controversial thing that for them to do it in a worldly aspect like that, it took balls.
On a world stage.
Yes.
Just to be like, this is who we are. Here's how we do it.
Yes. And then, of course, the production team for the Olympics that put on these performances stood up and was like, no, this is not what it was about. I'm drawing a blank on what it was for. Do you remember what it was for? It was the Greek.
It's to celebrate like the pagan festival. Like
yes.
The Greek mythology. One of the characters that they had one of the biggest controversies with was supposed to be in representation of Dionysus.
Yes.
Which is a part of Greek mythology.
Right.
Right? He's the god, I believe, of like wine and ceremony and a bunch of all that fun stuff. So it's it was set to celebrate a pagan festival,
Right.
basically.
And, you know, the fact that there was, you know, trans people up there and stuff like that, I think people just got offended by it. And, you know, it was something that most people probably didn't expect. But to me, I did not get offended by it. I thought it was great.
Right?
I was like, that's awesome. Good for them. I was like, and then, you know what else is stupid? Do you know how many times the freaking Last Supper has been parodied by different things
You know, I've
throughout
seen it in
the world?
animation world a lot of times throughout, like, my cartoons of, like, The Simpsons and Family Guy and things along that nature. So I know
Yes.
that at least on an animated aspect, it's been parodied.
Right. If you Google image search the Last Supper parodies, so many different things come up.
Right.
Like even political ones, which are funny. You know, like, so yeah, I just thought it was really crazy. I thought it was dumb that people got so mad about it. And then the France production team had to issue an apology.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
You
one
know,
of those things
to-
where you're getting the bad press because,
Right.
you know, a group of people are mad at you.
And I mean, I understand, like, I don't want to make it sound like I'm completely insensitive to those people's feelings because,
Right.
yeah, I mean, there probably were people that were offended by it. But let me ask you, when you saw it before someone told you on social media that it was a parody of that or they felt it was that, did you have that thought on your own or were you told that by social media? Like, did you think that after? You're like, oh, yeah, you know what? Screw that. Now I'm mad. But you didn't think that when you watched it. You know what I mean?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here because
Okay.
you also have to consider this is a world stage.
Yeah.
So in America, the percentage of people that may be offended by this is probably a lot smaller
Right.
because, I mean, you can go into things how, like, we've all lost our religion, get
Right.
into it. Let's not. But
No, thank you.
I can imagine in other countries where Christianity is more of a part of the culture of that country to where a lot of some of those images could have been offensive, could have been blasphemous, could have been offensive.
Right.
And so it's not just how the US of A feels. It's how everybody feels about
Right.
it. So in those cultures where Christianity is huge,
And
those
those
are
people,
probably the noisiest ones. Those are probably the ones that watched it and were like, "Oh my
What is
God,
this?"
what is this?" I mean, and it's these. I mean, the festival was out to celebrate pagans, and Christianity and paganism has been tried and true in history,
Yeah.
not friends.
They're not. They're not. And I mean, that's okay. That's okay.
Right.
You know, I'm very free spirited and open minded. I'm not
Absolutely.
religious in that aspect. I don't get offended by stuff like that, really. I will even go as far to say that I would not think that God would get offended by that either. Just gonna say that.
You think God has gotten more chill over time?
Yeah, I think he's
He's a
like, you know
little-
what?
little
He's
less
like,
Old
everyone else
Testament,
needs to chill
little
out.
more
He's like,
New
it's not
Testament
that
now."
bad, guys. Really,
That's fair. That's fair.
it's not that bad. There are worse things that, you know, people could be getting upset about and putting their energy into.
Right.
I
right.
think.
There are bigger things to focus on.
Exactly.
Right.
But aside from that, I didn't watch, like I said, the Olympics really. But you know, it's crazy. On the plane, I watched that. I always watch these dumb documentaries on the plane, but I watched that one sprint. Have you seen it?
Yeah. Yeah. I just watched that.
Oh, sweet. The we didn't really like talk beforehand,
no.
so we had like a big little break. A
We
big little,
did.
big little. That's
Big little.
back
Like we're trying to like.
back ass words.
It
but
was not a lot of time, but it was a lot of time.
yeah. We had a break where we did not see each other for a month. We didn't come home. We missed a month. It was sad. So we had quite a time in between. But yeah, so we didn't know. I didn't know if you had watched that. But anyways, I will say it was a little hard for me to keep my attention, partially because I was tired on the plane. But it was really interesting because those guys are so fast and
So
those
fast.
women
We're
are
talking
so
like
fast.
9 seconds, 10 seconds
Yes.
for 100 meters.
Yes. So for those of you guys that don't know, Sprint, it's a documentary on Netflix. It's about track and field. And it's about a lot of the participants that were in the Olympics. But this focuses on the World Championship. Sorry, my mic got weird for a second. And Noah Lyles I think he's like early 20s,
Yeah.
mid 20s. He's super young.
Young.
He was for USA, and he usually competes in the 200 meters normally, but he competed on that show in the 100 meters, and he took first place.
Nice.
And I think I'll have to double check my facts, but I'm pretty sure he made a new world record for the time
No way.
in the 100 meters. Yeah. And then when he competed in the Olympics, he did not do the 100 meters. He only did the 200, and he got third place. I forgot who got first. I want to say it was someone from Jamaica,
I cannot remember. I know that
because they always get first.
well, I mean,
USA and Jamaica
that
are
show
like,
showed me
Yes.
the fact that they are such a parallel, like they compared it to like the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Yes.
Like it's such a huge, what's the word I'm searching for?
Rivalry?
There we go.
Yeah.
Between us.
and I didn't know that either until I
Mm-mm.
watched that, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, I always knew that Jamaica always held it down with track and field.
Right. That's
you
kind
know,
of their
That was like their thing.
event.
Yes. And I mean, USA has some really great runners too.
Super
What's her
fast.
name was in that show? Gabby Thompson or Thomas? Thompson or Thomas? She's on the women's team. And she, I believe, took first place in the women's 200, I believe, or 100. I forget.
I can't remember either.
The numbers, there's too many numbers.
I
The back
know.
and forth, I'm like, ah!
And it's just the fact that they're so fast. I'm focused on, we're talking seconds. here.
Yes.
So like,
Like
if
10
you think
seconds.
about like 10 seconds, 10.7, 10 point whatever, like I can't remember the numbers exactly, but 10 seconds is not a lot of time.
No. And like the way that they like take off from those launch. Did you do track and field at all in
I
school?
I did it in high school. I
Okay.
was not that fast.
I did track and field as well. I was really fast. I competed in the 100 meters and then the relay.
Nice.
I was always the anchor for the relay because I was really fast, but I could never do long distance. I hated it. I just did not have like the speed for all of that.
I'm more of a
Or
run
the-
when chased kind
yeah.
of gal. Yeah.
Now I am like, I could go for a run when I'm like really feeling like it.
Really feeling fit.
Yeah. But yeah, I totally forgot what I was gonna say with the why I brought that up with what us being in school, track and field.
Oh, just from their launch positions.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you think about like the starting blocks that
Yes.
they're in. So they're like on all
Have you
fours,
pushed off
basically.
from those
Yeah.
before? Yeah. And it's
fallen
like
on my face 1,010,000 times. I did not have the grace for it. Like I had to
really.
get into like triple jump and shot put and throwing things. I quickly got out of track and field.
That's awesome though. I never got into that. I didn't have like the strength
right.
for that.
Right.
But yeah, the way that they launch off the blocks is crazy. And if you are able to like watch them in slow motion when they're taking off, the way that their legs move is almost like this like weird like I don't know how to explain. It's like a swoop, like a
Like a
swoosh.
swoop and then a whoosh.
Like I don't know how to explain. It's like a glide almost,
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
long like glide, and like their bodies are kind of like hunkered down, like the upper part of their body, and they're like their head is down, and then they come up, and they're like, you know, and it's like,
and then they're like straight as a board.
yes,
just
and then like
as
oh
fast
my
as possible.
god,
It's nuts.
it's insane.
yeah.
And
yeah.
they work really hard. They
It
show
was
like
fun to
all like
watch.
a lot of the behind the scenes training,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was really cool. Like to me, I like to see like the training,
The work.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
to see the work. Like, what do they do?
Yeah.
And they had some guys running in the water. Like,
I saw
did you see that?
Yeah.
Like they had like a weight around their waist to keep them down,
Mm-hmm.
and they're literally sprinting underwater.
As hard and as fast as I can.
Fuck that.
Dude, I mean, it's impressive to see how fast the human machine can go. Like how quickly, like
Yeah.
watching football players run and getting from like one position to the next, and
Right.
how agile and like responsive we can actually be. And I sit here and can't get up from the couch without groaning. So
We're at that age now. That's why. all these
But, like,
athletes that we're talking about are still
are
like in their
so
20s,
young,
you know?
but even still, it was really fun to watch all of their like the joy and the love for the sport
Yeah.
that they have. Like they are dedicated.
They are.
One of the funniest parts about that show that I liked, the clip was he's like he gets paid to run in circles.
Yeah,
And I was like, you do.
he does. That's so funny.
Like
I'm thinking about the girl, the other USA girl. What is her name? She had the long nails.
Shari, I can't remember the last. We'll have to look it up.
Richardson is her last name, I think.
I think you're correct.
You can look it up on your phone.
All right, go for it.
Anyways, she is badass.
I love her style. Her charisma.
I do
is
too.
on
Her
point.
charisma is super on point. She loves like the camera. She's like very extroverted. So is Noah. Like both of those people are very like hyped people, you know? And a lot of
Sha'Carri Richardson.
yes.
And Shakira Jackson.
Yes. Both of those girls were really, really good. And they seem like really down to earth girls. They put in the work.
Yeah.
You could tell they came from, you know, the streets. Maybe didn't have like the best childhood. I know Richardson definitely has like a story,
Yeah.
which is really cool. And I think I love her style because it's so unique.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she has the long nails and she always has the crazy hair. And I'm like, girl, how do you run? Like, how do you run and work out and do all these things with long ass nails like that? Like, I cannot do anything with nails, but she does it. And she competes.
That's impressive.
It is impressive. And I think a
Right.
lot of people were hating on her, like when she first started competing at like a really high competitive level because of her style, because, you know, who shows up like that
Yeah.
to a track, you know, to a track meet.
Because everybody's a lot more like slim down as fast
Yeah.
as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't want any extra. And like she wears like her hair down a lot when she runs. And I'm like, I'd be having that slicked back. Like I don't need any extra
I don't
weight.
need like stuff in my face.
I need the best aerodynamics as possible, you know?
Exactly.
Can I wear a swim cap?
Right? Wrong sport.
But yeah, those girls were badass. So more power to them
Yeah.
for doing that.
Yeah.
I did not last in track and field for very long when I was a
No.
kid.
No,
I did it for like a year, maybe
If
2 years.
if that, yeah. I tried hurdles. That was fun to watch me fall over and
Oh
over.
God.
And over. Like, you get really confident that you can clear them, and then you just can't. You just can't.
Yeah, I was good at hurdles. I got those long legs.
That makes sense.
Got
I
those
just had
long
no
legs.
speed. Like,
Yeah,
no surprise. I just had no speed.
that's okay. It's because you're tall. You have more.
There's a
like
there's
you
a lot
have
of mass
more-
here. Yeah,
you have more to move along
There's some
with
power
you,
behind
and that's
it.
just like
that's it.
science. Like unfortunately, that's just science. It's just how it works. What have you watched anything else recently?
My favorite part about the Olympics was Snoop Dogg being our mascot.
Yes,
Dude.
he was living
Just
his
he
best life.
showed up.
People were hating on that too.
so
Like
dumb.
that's so ridiculous. Like, come
Yeah.
on, if you have something wrong with Snoop Dogg,
You've got something wrong with you.
seriously. Snoop Dogg was one of my first concerts I went to.
No way.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was funny because I didn't know who he was at first because we were in like 7th or 8th grade and we
Right.
went to Insane Clown Posse concert.
Oh,
In ICP, they
Yep.
were the headliners and Snoop opened for them.
no way.
Yeah. Along with Mindless Self-Indulgence, which is like such an obscure band.
That is such
and
a strike from the past.
uh,
I've seen them in concert.
yeah, we saw that, and I'd never heard of them before until then as well. And everybody booed them, and my
Aw.
friends and I loved them.
Yeah, no, that's a great band.
I keep hitting the thing.
Sorry.
They are really obscure. Their sound, I mean, for that time was definitely kind of like a little weird,
Yeah.
a little
But
off.
That
Not
was
really
the
like
best part about it.
yeah, like we freaking loved it. We rocked it all the time.
Mhm.
And then, but yeah, Snoop for the Olympics.
Yeah.
I loved seeing like his memes and stuff floating around the socials. And there was so many videos of him like doing commentary. Did you watch any of those?
No, I just got clips of those. Which is your favorite?
He did commentary for like gymnastics and badminton. First of all, why is badminton an Olympic sport? I want to know.
It's just breakdancing is an Olympic sport. Let's be real.
Yeah, did you watch any of that? Did you see any of the highlights from that?
No, but I only
There's
got,
this
like,
one girl floating around.
from
I
Australia,
cannot remember
I
her
think,
name.
that was about to put her country to shame until like the guy came in and like put their place a little higher, I guess. But
Yeah, but I saw a few highlights from that, and I was like,
is this a sport?
I've seen I didn't know that what they were showcasing was considered breakdancing,
Oh, yeah, same.
because what I consider breakdancing was not that what I was watching, and I think a lot of the world felt the same way
Kind of the consensus. Yeah, yeah.
because it was a little strange.
Yeah, it was strange.
It reminded me of like hobby horse. Like, I can't wait for hobby horse to be an Olympic sport next, because
No,
that's
let's
probably
not.
like if
Let's
badminton is an
not.
Olympic sport,
But you have to,
hobby
like,
horse is coming right next.
Okay, but like, let's be real. At least with badminton, you're like moving around, you're aiming for stuff, you're
Right.
strategically trying to put the shuttle, whatever the
Mhm.
thing that's called,
The little birdie, is that what they call it?
like the something cock. I can't remember.
Does it have that word in it?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident it does. Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's the little birdie thing. It's like the shuttlecock or something. Regardless, but yeah, there was a lot of shenanigans in the Olympics this year. I think the only things that I saw was like the dude who lost.
It's called the shuttlecock.
Told you.
That's hilarious. Like the actual name for it is shuttlecock.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, the child inside of me is going to remember that.
Yeah,
But anybody
actually,
important's birthday, I'm sorry, push that out just to remember what that.
she doesn't
plastic-
even remember my birthday. We've been
Girl.
friends for like 14 years. That's
I
okay.
do too.
I barely remember hers sometimes because I always get it fucking confused. Because it falls on Labor Day weekend sometimes, and then
But
it.
Labor Day moves. My
Yes.
birthday doesn't.
I know, but it still messes with my head. I don't know why it does. It does,
That's okay.
and
And
usually I'm like a day early.
everybody's busy around that time
Like, happy
anyway. So
birthday.
realistically,
You're like, yay! You're the first person to tell me a day early.
You're like a
You
week and
bitch.
a half early. Oh, so you mean I should just be taking this text in grace and just
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, you're the best. Love
Yay.
you." You're
No.
still the first one.
I think I actually wrote it down last time.
That's okay.
September 2nd.
No.
3rd.
There you go.
September 3rd. September 3rd.
That's
It is
why she's always
documented
a
now.
day early.
Yes. Is Labor Day always on September 2nd?
No.
Does
But
it?
think about it. So it's the third day of September. So
Right.
Labor Day is always the first Monday in
Right.
September. So it typically always lands within a long weekend.
Right.
So because, everybody gets that Monday off. So it's either the Sunday, the Saturday, the Friday, the Monday. This year it's a Tuesday because of the leap year. Messed
Oh,
it
that's
up.
weird.
But Labor Day still happens regardless.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's always fun. I'm a little hog and I take the whole weekend and I'm like, we're celebrating. And then, yeah,
You got to celebrate your birthday weekend.
I guess. I mean, there's so much stuff to do around that time
Oh,
of year.
I was like really slummed. I was all. Did you?
because
How did
it's
I
like
get
the
down here?
end of summer. Like everybody's trying to wrap that up. There's always like the food festivals and all of this other fun stuff to go to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the summer wrap up for everything.
You know what show I just binged the other day because I've been really bored
Mm.
on Netflix?
What'd you watch?
It's like a baking show. It's on,
Are you watching the
it's on the top
Great
10.
British baking competition?
Yes. Wait, it's not British. It's like it has the host in it is the guy from American Pie with the brown hair. I can't think of his name.
What?
The American Pie movie?
Yeah.
The guy with the brown hair?
Okay.
He's the host of the show. But it's a baking show
I
and it's
see-
like
I
the
see what you
theme
did there.
is the theme is like state fair.
Okay.
I forget the name of the show. I'll drop it in the thing
I'm
for the people to
intrigued.
see.
Right.
But it was actually really interesting because they basically chose, a bunch of bakers from all over that had won, different competitions from all over the country and
Right.
like put them on this show or they got on the show, whatever. And then they had them compete and make all this different stuff. And it was all like carnival, like state fair related food.
like funnel cakes
Yes,
and corn dogs.
which was really cool. And it was
apple
super fun to watch. And I
pie
was like,
and-
ooh, I want to eat some of that. Looks
Oh,
good.
gosh. I'm a sucker for a cooking
Yes.
competition.
It was fun. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. I'd never really like watched one, and Trevor was like, "What are you watching?"
Hush your mouth.
I was like, "Shut up."
Mama's
It's keeping me
learning stuff.
entertaining over here. It was cool because like they had to think on the spot and like
Mhm.
make up stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's like some like behind the scenes production prep, obviously.
Of course.
You know.
You know how that goes.
Yes, I do. A little bit. But yeah, I mean, if you're bored and you want something entertaining to watch,
I'm definitely going to dive into that.
check it out.
Yeah.
It definitely like stirred like I was like, ooh,
I want to make something.
Yeah.
It is too hot for that.
it is.
Could you not? No.
It's been really hot in Florida too.
I really try and not use my oven during the summertime just because I don't want the house to get too hot
Same.
because my AC's already struggling.
We live in the RV
Mhm.
and it's been really hot in Florida. And when I cook on the stove, it gets really hot in there, like more hot than I
I can
want
see
it to
that.
be.
I can see that. Yeah.
So I
'Cause it
try
just,
not
like,
to.
Traps the
Yeah.
heat.
I mean, we usually leave like our door open, so we have like the screen,
Mhm.
you know. But it still will, you know, make it hot.
I mean, I get it. Florida does what Florida does, but why don't you cook outside?
We don't have a grill.
Ah.
I mean, we do. We just don't have it at our location.
At that location.
Yes,
Heard. Gotcha.
it's at one of our many other secret locations.
Your stuff is just strung.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
over
We have
Florida.
like we're
That's
like okay,
hilarious.
over here we have these items, and then over here is these items. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Something I wanted I want to let the people know that watch us. We had started with doing, you know, like hour-long type episodes. We wanted to kind of cut it down and try to do like 30-minute episodes for you guys, just kind of shrink it down a little bit. Just as kind of, you know, we're getting going, and we just think that you guys might enjoy that a little bit. So if you do like the 30-minute episodes,
Let us
know.
Yeah.
Because we need to know, like, do you want longer? Do you want shorter? Like, what are you guys feeling? It
it
sounded
feel?
so dirty.
Yeah, it's so great. It's so great.
You can take that however you want. On that note, we are going to wrap up here soon. However, was there anything else you wanted to say?
I don't have much.
You know where we're going to go after this?
Oh, yeah. We're going to release some rage.
Yes. We're going to go to a rage room,
We're going to smash some
break some stuff.
valuables. Not
Yes.
valuables. Fragile pieces of
Fragile.
stuff?
Fragile.
Fragile.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm nervous.
I'm a little nervous.
Why are you nervous?
But you know, it's funny. I kind of already told you this, so I'm going to say it again because I
Mhm.
think it's hilarious. When I called the people and like booked the appointment, I
Mhm.
made sure that we can like bring GoPros in with us. So we're
Right.
going to film it. And then next episode or one of the episodes after, we'll share with you guys
Right.
some little clips of us breaking some stuff. But I've always wanted to do it. I think it would be such an emotional like release.
I think you and I have the same nervousness.
Yes. And I think a lot of women will relate to that more so than men,
Mm-hmm.
because I think the type of stuff that women hold in like that is not anything that's like directed towards anyone. It's just our own internalized emotions
Yeah.
or whatever,
Like
right?
we pocket different emotions
Yeah.
than guys do. That's fine.
Exact-
But
and, like-
everybody pockets their emotions.
Yeah, to some extent. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
And, you know, for me, I always have different outlets for those emotions, and I
Right.
haven't had a lot of my outlets I have not had lately. Like music was a huge outlet, like my band playing drums. That was a huge emotional outlet for me, especially.
Right.
And I haven't had that. So I was telling Trevor like how excited I was. And as I'm telling him, like, I booked the rage room. I'm like, it's gonna be so good. He's like, geez. He's like, you have that much anger built up? He's like, what is wrong? And I was like, no, it's not like that, you know. And I'm like
Mhm.
explaining it to him, and I'm like, it's just gonna feel so good. I'm like, you mean to tell me like it wouldn't feel good? And he's like, no, it totally would.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, and like as I'm talking to him about it, my eyes are like welling with tears. Like I was getting that excited just thinking about it, because I know it's going to feel so good. Like it's going to be a good release.
It's going to
you
be
know?
interesting to see. Yeah.
And maybe I could be completely wrong, and I'll just be stone cold in there and just fucking.
Why would you do that?
No, I'm just kidding.
You have to
We're
be-
gonna go crazy.
We have to be dramatic for the camera.
No, it's gonna be super fun. I'm really excited about it.
Me too.
Um, Anyways, guys, we will definitely update you on that next episode. Please make sure you like and subscribe
Please and thank you.
down below. We will catch you on the next one.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Girl, did you hear?